I look back now and I just think, what was I actually thinking? Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do a storytelling get ready with me. So grab your popcorn. This is going to be a good one. So I wanted to do a get ready with me, make it a bit chatty, and I wanted to tell you a bit of a story about the worst date I ever went on. All the products that I've used I will list below, but let me just give you the lowdown. I can't even remember when it was. It must have been at least 12 years ago. So I was probably about, I don't know, 19, 20-ish. Who knows? And I used to go out in London a lot. Like I used to be in London all the time, raving it up. I used to go to this club. I say used to, I went a few times, called Strawberry Moons. Now anybody, probably a 80s baby in London will know about Strawberry Moons. I hope so. And when you're in a club, it is a bit dark, right? It's like dark. Can't really see. And I was drinking. Met this guy, and I probably should really have words with my friends who were there with me that night, because they didn't quite tell me that yeah, I shouldn't have probably gone there. Anyway, met this guy. He was tall, gorgeous. Well, I thought he was gorgeous, but let's not go there about nightclub lighting. Anyway, he was alright, gave him my number, and he was all, I'll call you, I'll text you, and I was all, okay babes. And then a few days later, he texted me. In fact, these were back in the day with BBM, and he was like, give me your pin. And so I think he BBM'd me, and if you don't know what that is, and then you're just too young. So we went back and forth, about a time I could do. Now I used to work in the city, so I used to work in central London, and so we tried to find a time that I could do after work, because that was easier, because I was already then kind of in central and it was easy, blah blah blah, and he would meet me after work. Now we hadn't really been texting that much, to be fair, so I didn't know that much about him. This is probably where I went really wrong. Agreed to meet. I can't remember what day it was. It was definitely a weekday. We agreed to meet and we'll go out for dinner. I was like, okay, cool. So I'd been at work all day. Now, because I worked in the city, I used to be suited and booted, so I used to wear suits to work. I didn't have time to get changed, but I thought I'd redo my makeup, zhuzh my hair, it would be all right. He is texting me and he's like, I'm running a bit late, is that gonna be all right? And I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll just wait. He was like, if you could come nearer to me, and then I'll pick you up and we'll go somewhere local, because then that kind of saves a bit of time waiting around. By the time he got into central London, I was like, okay, cool. Get on the train, and I get to the station that he tells me to go to, and he's not there. He's not there for ages. So I'm like texting him, I'm like, I'm here, nothing. And I probably waited, it felt like hours, but it was probably about 15-20 minutes. And then he texted me and was like, cool, I'm on my way. I'm in my work van, hope that's okay. Didn't have time to go home and like sort cars. So I'll just pick you up in that. And I was like, yeah, cool, like whatever. He gets there and it's like a white van, like a big white van. Fine. Pulls up and beeps and like leans forward and waves. I'm like, oh, okay. So I walk up to the passenger door and there is loads of stuff. Like I can see in the window, like stuff, tools, all sorts of stuff on the passenger seat. There's only like, if you've been in a van before, it's like double the seats, the front seats, so two people can sit there, and then the driver's seat, and there was stuff everywhere. I'm like, oh, what should I do? And he's like, oh, this is gonna be so awkward, but like, can you go in the back?
What?
And at that point, you'd think I kind of would have known. I'm like, the back? And he's like, yeah, like the back of the van. I'm thinking, shouldn't that be where your tools are? Not be. He's like, oh, it's like safe, it's like a seatbelt back there, you'll be fine. We're only gonna go to this restaurant around the corner. No, I'm not getting in the back of the van. And we go back and forth, and he's getting like I'm inconveniencing him by not getting in the back. And I'm like, oh, I don't mind waiting while you put the tools and stuff in the bag. Anyway, he made a big fuss. He like scooted some stuff over. It was filthy. Anyway, I got in the front and he's like, oh, I'll just take you. There's like a nice Thai, I think it was Thai or Chinese restaurant down the road. He didn't ask me if I had any preferences, if that's what I like, nothing. But I was like, whatever. At this point, I don't know why I didn't just go, oh, do you know what, I need to go home. And I probably should have, and I didn't. I was hungry, I wanted food. Parks up, get out. I remember from the restaurant, he was from the club. I remember from the club, he was super, super tall. 6'5", 6'6". Now I'm only 5'2", but I had heels on. And I remember him being like, you're really small. Not much about that I can do. And then he said to me, didn't have to make such an effort because I was obviously dressed in a suit. So I explained to him, I was like, oh, I've just finished work, like I finished work, so I've come straight from work, so this is what I wear to work. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, we get to this restaurant and we sit down. Really small restaurant, it was really nice. It was like pad Thai food. And I'd just spritzed perfume before the van came, so it was like proper strong scent. And there was a couple behind us, and the guy was like sniffing, and the girl turned around and was like, oh my gosh, like your perfume is really nice, like sorry to interrupt, like can I just ask what it is? And my date was like, oh, do you not think that's a bit rude? The girl was like, oh sorry, like I didn't mean to interrupt, and like turns back around. I thought, okay. Anyway, we're looking at the menu, really struggling to have a conversation, and then his phone rings and he answers the phone. Whoever's on the other end of the phone must have said, what are you doing, what are you up to, where are you at, something like that, because his answer was, oh, I'm just at home. Okay. He stays on the phone for what feels like forever, but probably isn't even, only a couple of minutes. And then he's like, anyway, I'll come back to you later, like, I'll speak to you later. So he comes off the phone, and I'm just staring at him thinking, like, you literally just told someone you're at home and you're on a date with me. Maybe you don't want to chat your business and tell everyone you're on a date, but you just say you're out. Would you not? Can you believe this even gets worse? We have food, eat dinner, he's flirting with the waitress, the conversation is shocking. It was just a nightmare, and I just kept thinking, I just want to eat and go home. Like, I'm too deep in to walk out now. It was a tiny little restaurant, there's no to escape. I'm just gonna have to eat and then we'll just go. We finish dinner and the bill comes. And then he turns to me, and I honestly, when I tell this story, because I've said it to, like, told it to friends, it just sounds so surreal. But he turns to me and he's like, oh no, like I haven't got my wallet. Do you mind paying? I just thought, oh my gosh, whatever, like I just wanted to get out of there. Now, this was a few years ago, so they didn't really have the facility for you, like they didn't really bring card machines over and stuff. I remember they didn't do that, and I had to get up and go to the bar to pay. So the waitress came, so you know when they kind of leave the bill with you and then go off, so she comes back and she's like, are you ready to pay? He just stares at me, because she stares at him. She like asks him if he's ready to pay, and he just stares at me, and I'm like, it's fine. Now, I'm all for like whoever pays, like I don't care, but it was the fact that I had to pay for all of it, not even like 50-50, but whatever. I have to get up in the restaurant, go to the bar and pay. I'm like, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out of here. We eventually leave, thank God. And I'm like checking the train times frantically on my phone. So I'm like, oh, I've got the next train. He was like, what time's your next train? Now the next train wasn't for like something ridiculous, like an hour or 45 minutes or something. And I was quite happy to stand at a train station in the dark on my own for that long after this date. But he insisted, he was like, no, like you shouldn't have to like wait at the train station. We'll just go to the bar next door and have a drink before your train comes. And I thought, well, Lord knows I need a drink after this, so I should really. And also I just thought it's warm, it's safe, there's people around. It's probably better I do that. So we go into this bar, and as we're walking up to the bar, it was like literally down the road from the restaurant. There's a doorman, like a bouncer, you know, somebody checks the IDs. We walk up to the door, and the doorman says to me, have you got any ID? I'm like, yeah, cool. And before I can even reach into my bag, my date is like, why are you asking her for her ID? Does she look under 18? She doesn't look under 18. Do you think I'm some kind of like, what, you think I'd be on a date with a kid? Like, would you? And he just starts going off on this guy. It's fine, like I've got my ID, like it's really no problem. He's like, no, but you shouldn't have to have it. You don't even look that young. Like, he's trying to say I'm out with a kid. I'm not out with a kid. I was like, it's fine. It's just a job. Anyway, I get it out, and the doorman's like, are you okay? I'm like, I just want to get him and sit down. So I go and sit down. We have a drink. The time must have just felt like forever, because it was just the worst. We have a drink. The conversation's still dire. He's even like, so do you want to come back to my house? I'm like, no. Anyway, These are before the days of Uber, so I still needed a lift back to the train station. I'm like, oh there's another train, like the train's coming, could you drop me back? And he does. I don't know why I even got back in the car, if I'm honest. He drops me back at the train station and I get on the train and I'm like, yes. And the train pulls out and I'm on my way home. And he starts texting me and he's like, oh, you were a bit off, you didn't seem like you had a good time. No, you're kidding. It was a firm no from me, like a firm no. I was just offended he even had the cheek to ask. Like, how could you ever have thought that date went well? I was ignoring kind of at first, and he was like messaging, and I went back and just made an excuse about there being no reception while I was on the train. In reply, I just said, oh, I don't like it, I'm not sure if we really clicked, like it was really nice, but yeah, I'm not sure. I tried to be really polite, that was pointless. Then he was like, you're not even that nice anyway. What? You were boring still. He just went, oh, honestly. So I blocked him and I never saw him again, because God is good. That was probably hands down one of the worst dates I have ever been on. And I know it just legit sounds made up, but I swear to you it happened. If you've got any horrific dating stories, comment them below. Let me know I'm not the only one who's had a horrendous date experience. But I hope you enjoyed that little story time. If you've got any other stories you want me to tell, let me know. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.